What's going on, friends? Welcome back to the Intermediate Chess Speedrun. I'm George, this is episode 5, and we're going to jump straight into a rapid game. Currently, we're rated 518 ELO, playing against Scam Reed from France. He plays 1e4. Perfect, we'll play our Caro-Kann. Knight 3, d5. If he takes, we're going to take back. Nice and simple. Okay, he plays knight to c3. So when they play knight c3, our move is to take. And he takes, and we have two moves. We can go bishop f5, and then there's a line after knight g3, bishop g6, and h4, which gets quite complicated. Personally, I find it a lot easier just to play knight to f6. And if they take, we're going to take back with the e-pawn. Principles tells us that taking towards the center is better, but if you take towards the center, it is a move, but it's not always great because if they exchange and the pawns are isolated, bishop's blocked in. But he doesn't take, he goes knight to g5, which is an interesting move. We could kick the knight straight away and the knight has to go back to h3, and we could take it with the bishop, takes. I guess we don't need to do that. Let's just go bishop g4 first, develop our pieces, pin the knight to the queen. Sacrificing doesn't work, but yeah, bishop c4 does target this pawn, so we have to play e6 just to block the bishop out. Now they can't take on f7. It's important to remember that this pawn, the f7 pawn, is the weakest square on the board, especially at the start of the game, because it's the only pawn that is only defended by the king. It's just something good to remember. So I think this is okay. Okay, he attacks the bishop. I guess we're going to take, right? If we come back, we just kicked around. Have to go back to g6, we get chased, so taking is the simplest option. I think the queen will probably take. Targets a knight, but doesn't necessarily pose any threat. Well, now, actually, I've just realised if we play h6, the knight has to go to this square. If we take it, take. I think it's okay for us, but I think we can get more out of the position. So h6, the knight goes back. We don't have to play h6 either. We can go knight to d7, maybe. I think we'll play h6 and see what this knight wants to do. Taking on f7, don't think that works. We take with the king. Looks a bit scary because the bishop is targeting this pawn, but I think a move like queen e7 kind of guards everything, to be honest. Yeah, let's see what opponent does. Okay, so they move the knight back, which is kind of what I thought they would do. We don't really want to let them take. So if we was to play a move like let's say like just a6, then they can take, and whatever we take with, they can take twice on f6 and damage the pawns, which is not bad but not great. So I think probably a move like, I guess knight d7 is probably okay, or bishop e7. Let's go bishop e7, not overcomplicate too much. Now if they chose f6, we're perfectly happy because we'll take with the bishop. Our bishop is nice and active. There's no threat to our position. c3, I guess preparing d4. Seems logical, yeah. I guess we can just probably castle the king. We could go b5, but now the bishop has a retreating square to go back to c2, so it's a bit pointless, I think. Let's just castle. d4 will come, yeah. Now the king is still in the center, which makes me think I kind of want to take, and maybe bishop here. Or let's go, actually I've got an idea. So let's go knight to d7 first. So the opponent has gone queen g3, which makes sense because they want to take on h6. I think we can just go king h8. Obviously the threat is, so if we were to play a move like a6 for example, they would take on h6 with this bishop, and we can't take back because the queen is pinning the pawn to the king. But if we just play king h8, I think we could take, which hits the queen actually. Yeah, I quite like this move actually. I think this is just a free knight to be fair, because now if they take on h6, we take the queen. Seeing ghosts for a moment, which is a really important thing to remember. Sometimes you see a ghost, but at the end of the day, that was a free knight. Yes, they can take on h6, but like I said, we take the queen. If they move the queen here, which is probably what they'll do. Yeah, we can actually just come back, save our knight, hit the queen again. The queen has to move again. And now we're just up a knight, I think. They'll go back to g3 probably, threatening this again. But now we can go, I mean, we could even go to h5. I don't mind that move. Let's try queen. Let's go, so knight h5, the queen will go to probably g4. If it goes to g4, we have the other knight going to f6, defending the knight, hitting the queen. I think actually king h8 is probably just a good move. We are down a little bit on time, so I think we do need to play a bit faster. Sacrifice doesn't work. Okay, and they castle, so I think that's kind of their surrendering to the fact that they are just down a piece. I think now is a good time to play probably knight h5. The queen has to move somewhere. We can bring the other knight in. If they go queen f3, we can go the other knight to f6 maybe. Now my plan, if they go here, was just to go like this. Now I do have to be careful because now this knight technically has no squares, so maybe we'll have to put this bishop here, cover this square maybe. Don't know if I like that, you know. Maybe we'll have to play g6. We can't play g6, so maybe I'm not actually too much of a fan of this move. Yeah, I think g5 actually just traps the queen. Yeah, queen is trapped. I guess actually bishop will take, rook g8. I think we can just go for let's play g5. The queen is trapped, kind of, because it means that this bishop is now going to have to take. We'll take back, queen will take. And we'll just have to cover up, I guess, with the king. The opponent will run out of pieces if they sacrifice the bishop. They are down a piece already, want to remember. Yeah, so if we go rook g8, the queen can come in here and check us, and we have to go back and we lose this knight, which isn't the end of the world, because we have rook g5 in that position, and then I think we can do that. I think we can give up a knight. Basically, this queen will take here. We can go rook g5. It's kind of hard to see, so we'll go through it after the game, of course. Yeah, block here. They take this knight, and my plan was just to go rook g5. And I think the queen might run out of squares. Oh, interesting. They just threaten checkmate, I suppose, yeah. I guess now we can either play f5 or come back with this knight, defend checkmate. I kind of like f5, oh, but that does hang a pawn. So maybe we should, this is a bit complicated now. Defending checkmate. G4 is a move. Queen f8 is probably going to be my next move. Just try and get the queens off. Yes, that was what I thought was going to happen. Queen here. G5 does look like it kicks away the knight, but they're not actually threatening to take it. My plan is just to go queen here on the next move, defend h7. Yep. Some sacrifice work here. Not yet. So let's just defend. G5 doesn't work because we just take it. Yeah, we can just take that. Force the queens off. Okay, we're down to 3 minutes, down about half our opponent's time, but we are winning, so we should be okay. This was a bit of a complicated position, complicated game to kind of foresee. So obviously we'll do some deep analysis afterwards. The queen does have to, this does force a queen trade, and we are just up 2 pieces. We're up 2 knights. Yeah, and we can even actually, so this looks like we can just take and actually win the bishop. But if we go, I'm trying to think what is better. So if we go here, we move the queen has to take, I think that's better. Essentially, if I move the queen, the rook will be pinning the queen to the king. I can just trade, take here, take the bishop, and we've got 3 pieces. If I go here, the opponent has to take, we take back, check. The opponent has to go here. I think it might actually be checkmate soon, so let's just do this. So notice how the opponent can't move their queen because the king is behind the queen. So their best move is just to take and sacrifice for the rook, but then we'll use the other rook to capture back. We check on the king. I think we might be checkmating somewhere. Interesting. Yeah, tricky position, or tricky game at least. Yeah, our opponent definitely made some good threats, but we were able to see through the smoke, spot the ghosts, and not fall for anything, and safeguard the king. Trade some pieces, and at the end of the day, yeah, we're now just up 2 pieces, and we're going to be up a queen for a rook as well, probably with a decisive attack now. Okay, so just move the rook. We're just going to take the queen. Check. I guess we just take the pawn here. Sacrificing doesn't work. We can just take it. They take on h7. We can just bring the queen back, maybe. The knight will still be defended. Yeah, this is okay. Check. Right, let's just bring the rook, I think. Yeah, bring the rook. Rook h2. We take on g3. Okay, this we can, I guess, just take here. Yeah. Now we're just going to be cleaning up. If they take with the rook, we take. Queen blocks, rook blocks, sorry, and we actually just take the bishop. If this rook blocks, it's actually just checkmate. So the best move will be to take the rook. We take back. So this is a safe pre-move, but I'll leave it on the board just so we can see it. We have 1 minute and 49 seconds, so yeah, okay. We have enough time. They take, we take back. We could even be fancy and take for the queen, but it's a bit unnecessary because we're just going to take this bishop, and all they have is a rook, and we have 2 knights, a bishop, and a queen, so this is more than decisive. Now I think we just will start checking the king, probably. And we can start bringing in some pieces. This is a check. Queen has to go back, and I think there's probably checkmate somewhere. Go ahead. Rook has to block, and this is probably decisive. The king has to come here. Queen h2. Any other checks? Queen h2. We have 1 minute. I'm not too worried. Yep. And now, where is checkmate? Let's go here. Threaten a mate. Rook blocks. Check. And this is checkmate. Yeah, awesome. Nice game. Bit tricky. Our opponent played well. We actually had 1 miss, which means that we had a better move and we didn't play it. So maybe we missed a checkmate or some of the decisive attacking move. Okay, let's do some analysis. Okay, so computer doesn't think we played that well, but apparently we played like a 1300. Interesting. We did have a mistake. What was the mistake? What did the computer want here? Okay, I guess, yeah, the computer did just want us to, okay, let's go from the beginning first instead of overcomplicating it. So we played Caro-Kann. This is all just opening theory. When we played a Caro, there's 3 options. Basically, the opponent can, or in the main line at least, like this, off to d4. They can either take the pawn, and we take back, this is the exchange, and there's lots of theory here, and our plan is to put the knights out here, pin this knight when it gets to this square, close the pawn chain, develop the bishop and castle. Super simple. If they push, this is the most testing. The classical move is bishop f5, but a move that is also good is c5, just striking back in the center straight away. Or they defend it, so like knight c3, which is the main line. And we take, they take. I had a question yesterday of when they play knight c3 to defend this pawn, to attack this pawn, sorry. Why can we not put the bishop here and defend it? We can, it's just not too good because when we move the bishop here, we're blocking this pawn. So this pawn, which means it can't move forward, which means this bishop is blocked in. It probably is a move, and you know, our plan would maybe to be like play g6 in the future, bishop g7, but the main line does say for us to take here. This is much simpler. Now we can either go bishop f5, and this is the line I was talking about where they move and attack the bishop. You come back, and now they play h4, and this is actually a threat because we play a6, h5 just traps the bishop, basically. Yeah, we have to go here and take it for free. So after h4 it gets very complicated, and we have to play h6 or h5. Yeah, it's not a fun line to play, to be honest, so I just take, and instead of playing bishop here, I put the knight on this square, and they take, and like I said, so I said in the game that you can take this way, but it gets very complicated because you isolate these pawns, weaken the king a little bit. You have the g file to attack, but you really have to know what you're doing. It's much simpler just to play e takes f6, and this is the Caro-Kann variation. And now our plan essentially is just to play bishop d6. Let's just make some moves. Castle, set a castle, we pin, and now we have these two bishops, and they're facing the king, and we have an attack potentially brewing in the future. Some people look at this position and they think, what about this pawn? Looks a bit misplaced. But in actuality, we actually have the e file open for the rook, and this pawn is also kind of is repelling this knight. So if this pawn wasn't here, this knight would maybe have access to g5 or to e5. But because this pawn is here, it really well repels his pieces. Just controlling the opponent's pieces, to be fair. So, but our opponent didn't do that. They took, but what actually happened in the game was this. So we pushed, they played the two knights, they took, we played knight f6, and yeah, they didn't take. They moved the knight here, and yeah, I mean the computer says bishop g4 is an inaccuracy because of bishop c4. I guess h6 straight away was fine. Knight h3, and does computer? Yeah, computer wants us to take, and just play d6. Computer has the opponent, has weakened pawns, and we have a much better structure, slightly better, easier play. Yes, I have the g file, but we can defend the king, so it's no real problem, to be fair. Something to remember for the future. We played bishop g4, pinning the knights to the queen. They played bishop to c4, which is a good move, because obviously if we play a random move, they're going to take here. On f7, defended by the knight, we have to go here, and now knight e5 comes in and we start to lose material. So it was important to see this threat, which is why I wanted to get the bishop out first, which we did, and then we played e6. Opponent played h3, we took the knight. Opponent took back with the queen. Maybe knight takes was better. Yeah, knight takes was a little bit better, just to get the knight out of the way, protect the king. We played h6, and I saw that the knight had to go back to this square. And yeah, the computer just wants us to play knight bd7. We played bishop b7, also a fine move. c3 is good, preparing d4. And yeah, we castled, they played d4, played knight d7. These are all just simple developing moves, getting our pieces out. And this looks sneaky because obviously if we play another waiting move, the opponent can play bishop takes h6. Like I said, we can't take back because the queen would take the king, and they're threatening checkmate. And we have to play some moves like knight h5. But now, yeah, moves like queen g4 kind of ruin our position a bit, because I mean, yeah, we have to defend the knight some way. We can't move it because of checkmate on g7. If we play g6, then yeah, they take the rook. Was there a better move? Wow, bishop apparently is a tactic in this position. Bishop takes e6, take on e6, and queen takes g6. It's leading to almost a mate. Yeah, take on f8, queen takes, taking h5, and this is complete loss for black. So yeah, it was important to see the idea behind this move. But what I did see is that if I take this, when they played queen g3, they stopped defending this knight. And when I take this knight, yes, they can take on e6, but this is not good, because when our knight took their knight, our knight is also now seeing the queen, so we can take queen. This is an important thing to see. So yeah, this idea simply just doesn't work, because we can just take the knight, then move the queen, which is good. We bring the knight back to attack the queen. Queen goes back. King h8 is good because it gets out this idea. And I wasn't too happy about this plan, to be fair, of like moving a knight, bringing the other one. Yeah, computer wants us to go back with this one, because the thing is, we're moving this one, and now this knight doesn't actually have any squares, so I think not an amazing move from me. But it was nice to see this move g5. If this bishop wasn't here, then the queen would actually be trapped, because the queen has no squares, which is why the opponent is forced to take on g5 with the bishop, give us another piece, this time for 2 pawns for sure. And yeah, the computer, I saw what I did was just bring the rook to the g file, aiming at the king, which is in the long term, I suppose it was a good thing because we did mount some good attack. I saw that after this attack, the queen can come in and check us, and we have to block with this knight and lose this knight. But I don't think I was too bothered because yeah, we can just start defending the king. The opponent is running out of pieces, you know. So, but obviously, yeah, the computer just wanted us to bring this knight back. If check, bring this knight back, and we cover the king. There's no way to checkmate us. Bishop f4, and the computer just wants us to play f5. I suppose that makes sense because I thought about f5 later in the game, but I couldn't because the queen was here and it could take this pawn. But the good thing about bringing this knight back first is that it defends e6, which meant that was possible. I was happy to go into this though because I knew that the opponent didn't have enough pieces to checkmate us, and I saw that the queen was coming to f8 to trade, coming to g7, creating some counter attack as well, and also defending the king, which is important. And obviously, if g5 works, then and the king wasn't here, or if this was defended more times, there was a bishop here maybe defending, then yeah, we wouldn't be able to take it. And this wouldn't be so good because we'd have to move the knight somewhere. Then like our opponent has some more pressure. But yeah, g5 is just a blunder because we can take it with the queen. And the position I saw was take, check. King has to go. If the king goes to h2, then we can start checking the king. King has to go back, start threatening more pawns. If the opponent tries to defend, we can bring the other rook in. So this isn't just not good because the king has to walk out, start checking. Yeah, this is just not good for our opponent. But our opponent didn't do that, and after we took with check, the opponent went to g3 with the queen. And well, yeah, queen f4 is actually better, but it doesn't really matter. I just came back with the queen because I saw that the queen is now pinned to the king, which means that we're going to be winning the queen. So we took the queen. Their best move was to take, at least get the rook for the queen. We take with the rook. The king has to go to h2, and yeah, this is just not good because now the king goes onto a dark square. We check. The king has to go back, and yeah, this is checkmate. Which is why instead of doing that, they brought the rook. We took the queen, they took back, we took an h3, and this is now just clean up. Attack the pawn again. I did see that if we took here, then the opponent can start attacking us back, but obviously we do just take the bishop in this position, I suppose. So instead, I wanted to get more pieces in the attack, bring the rook, and yeah, this just is a blunder because, well, it's not a blunder, I guess it's the best move, but it's still hopeless because we can just take on g3. Obviously, if they block, then this is checkmate. And if they take, we take. If they block, then yeah, we just started. This is what actually happened, I think. Yeah, and we just take the bishop, and now we're up a queen, 2 knights, and a bishop. Our king is safe, and yeah, we're just going to be basically just straight winning, no questions asked. And now it's just a matter of checkmate the king. So we started checking the king, coming back, and these are just some patterns. I wanted to try and get to h2 because the bishop holds that square. And yeah, here, bring the knight in, threaten checkmate, and the rook can block, but then we can start just, I don't know, check again. If the king goes here, we take the rook. So the rook would have to block. We go queen to f3. King goes to e1. We check. King goes over. Checkmate. And this is why it's also really important to do puzzles and do your checkmate know your checkmate patterns. Because, you know, if I didn't know these patterns, then I could get to this position and not know how to win a game, even though it's mate in 4, apparently. So yeah, that's what happened. We checkmate on f2 because they push the pawn, and yeah, queen f2, it's just checkmate. So really nice game. We had to defend. Notice our opponent's threats, parody threats. and yeah, we ended up just taking some pieces, being up loads of material, and then launching our own counterattack and winning the game. We're now rated 539 elo, so slowly working our way up the ladder. 600, I guess, is our next goal. Beyond 600, get to 750, get to 1,000, and slowly make our way back up to the intermediate levels in rapid chess. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.